Hello friends, welcome back to another of these reaction style videos to Magic announcements. You guys seem to really like the last time I did it when I talked about all the Marvel announcements, and I asked you guys if you wanted me to talk about the MagicCon Las Vegas announcements, and you guys said yes, so here I am. So keep telling me what kind of content you want and I'll keep doing it. If I sound a little tired, it's because it's 6 a.m. and I'm trying to record this before I go to work, so I'm going to try and do this as quickly as I can. But for anyone that's new and you're finding this channel out for the first time, welcome. My name is Eddie. I am a beginner slash new-ish player to Magic the Gathering, starting only with Bloomburrow. So these are the thoughts of a casual slash newish player about the MagicCon Las Vegas announcement. So it's probably going to be a lot of hot takes. I'd love to know what you guys think, whether you're a casual or hardcore player, you've been playing for years, or you've been playing for only a couple weeks. Tell me what you think of everything in the comments down below. Subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. The more I see reaction to this, the more I might try and do more of these reaction videos. I'm trying to mix it up here. I know I do a lot of unboxing videos and pack openings and all that, but that's the best way that I found to make content often on the channel. But if you guys want me to keep talking about stuff like this, let me know. So let's jump right into it. For those of you guys who don't know, MagicCon Las Vegas was this weekend. I did not know, so I only found this out after all the announcement happened, but apparently it's, similar to Comic-Con, TwitchCon, and all that other stuff, where they just have panels and people play Magic all weekends, which sounds like a really great time. Maybe I should try and see where they're doing it next year and try and go for myself one time. But during this time, they had a huge announcement of everything that's coming out in 2025, and a couple other stuff here. So I actually have four articles and one announcement that we're going to go through in this video. So lots to cover. But let's jump right into it. So the first thing you can see right away is the foundations of Magic's next era. So I don't want to talk too much about Magic the Gathering Foundations, because that is a new set that's coming out in like a week and a half from now, and I already pre-ordered some stuff from there, so we're going to be talking and making a lot of content with that stuff. I got the beginner set coming, the starter kit coming, so we're going to talk about Foundations. But from what I understand, this is really a brand new starting point for Magic. So they're using this set that's coming out in November, which is the Foundation set, as the grounds, and then every new set is going to go into that. And they've actually made some changes to some of the rules of how to play Magic, starting with Foundations, which we will talk about in this video. So make sure to stick around for that part. But let's jump right into it. So as you see here, a new era, Foundations. The release of Magic the Gathering Foundations brings with it a new baseline for the game. It's simple, it's exciting, and it's going to be a foundational part of how we share Magic. We're ushering in a new era of Magic alongside Foundations. In the past few years, we've tried bold ideas, iterated on products, and explored new horizons of Magic design. Now, we're taking what we've learned and delivering the best version of Magic we can. Sounds like great news. I think that this is fantastic stuff right away that, for someone like me, that I will say Magic the Gathering has always seemed very overwhelming, always seemed confusing. The products that they sold, I've talked about it in my beginner videos, that I was never really sure how to get into Magic. This seems to be the perfect way to get new players jumping in at a fresh starting point. So if you're a hardcore player or just a player of Magic and you really want to get new friends into it, Foundation seems like the best way to get started. We're going to talk about that a lot in the next couple of weeks. So make sure you subscribe. I'll have a lot of content about Foundations, what I recommend for you guys. Some of the products are easily giftable. They're not too expensive, so you can maybe buy a set for the holidays for friends and family and try and get them into the game. It seems like it's going to be just good news. I don't know if they talk about it in the article here. Well, here, let me keep reading. We'll find out together. So our innovations lead to exciting changes coming in Magic's future, and we're thrilled to share some of them with you today. We've heard your concerns. We are streamlining our release cadence beginning next year, spreading it out further with a balanced, digestible schedule that includes Magic settings and Universe Beyond. So that's good. Upcoming Universes Beyond booster releases will be legal in all formats. Standard will also begin rotating with the calendar year starting in 2027, providing players with more places to play cards they love in formats they choose. You can read more about these. Okay, cool, fantastic. We'll be listing a manufacturer. Okay, that's another article that we're going to talk about as well. We're building on these foundations we're building on these foundations starting this year with Foundations. Okay, that was confusing. And continuing into 2025 and beyond. Speaking of, so okay, before we get into the next stuff. So from what I understand, Foundations is going to be the set that's going to be for the next 4 or 5 years. So everything coming out in the next 4 or 5 years is going to be using the base of Foundations. What does that mean? Not too sure. I feel like we obviously have to kind of trust Wizards of the Coast in this case and wait and see what that means and how they're going to use it. But speaking real quickly about this stuff, streamlining our release cadence, I think that's good news. I think as a content creator and as players, knowing that there's a schedule and it's not all over the place is good news. Now, me being really new, as I said, only starting Bloom Barrel, which was August of this year, sorry, so only a couple months in, I really can't speak as to how the cadence was in previous years. So if you guys know, tell me in the comments just so I can kind of have an idea of what it was before versus what it is now. But it seems like they're trying to set it up in a really good way. Upcoming Universe Beyond booster releases will be legal in all formats. So this part, as a new player, I'm also a little bit confused, but let's hope I don't make mistakes here. From what I know, previous Universe Beyond cards, like Fallout sets, Assassin's Creed, and all that other stuff, there were some cards or some packs or however it works that you couldn't play in certain formats of the game. I never understood why that was the case. I know there's like rulings and stuff like that, but for me, I think that it's great news to know if I spend money on cards, I get to play with those cards. That just seems like a just straight up victory for everybody, that your money, you're getting cards, play with them. That seems like really good news. So I really, really can't see any of the negatives here, outside of maybe like competitive, but you guys have to remember with every single game, not just card games, video games, anything, competitive scene is very much a smaller community than the overall community of a game. That's the case with every single thing. There's a reason why esports are not making a lot of money when you talk about video games, and it's the same with trading card games as well. So I understand that there's going to be a very vocal minority of people who are going to be potentially upset about the fact that there's more cards in the competitive scene, but you have to remember that that's not what they're aiming for. And I think that, you know, people are going to be very upset with me, and I totally get it because I'm talking to someone who's not competitive, so I clearly seem or sound like I don't care. It's not that I don't care, but for the health of a game and for a positive future for a video game or a game in general, it's better for them to try and get a broader audience and getting more people in. So for me, this just seems like a really good thing. More people will be able to collect cards, buy cards, and play with those cards in different formats, which again, if you've seen my videos, I have my ways that I enjoy, like playing Magic the Gathering, but I've seen so many people in the comments talk about their preferred way of playing. So good news, you'll get to play with more cards in every single one of those formats. Let's keep it going here. I'm going to talk about the MSRP later as well, because that's a big thing. So the next year of Magic sets. At MagicCon Las Vegas, we revealed the names and details of some of the sets coming in 2025. From a war-torn plane of dragons and cons to the far reaches of space, there's plenty to look forward to in the upcoming year. So it looks like the first one is called Innistrad Remastered. So cool, I guess. I don't know what Innistrad is. They're showing this one handsome gentleman multiple times here. Edgar Markov with different types of art. And then another one of him here too. Celebrate the beloved plane of Innistrad in all its gothic grandeur with Innistrad Remastered, featuring familiar faces like Edgar Markov as the set's headliner card. So very weird here that they just keep talking about this one. Headliner cards are a new booster fun feature beginning with Innistrad Remastered. It's a single card from the set that has been illustrated, crafted with foil treatment, sometimes even serialized like Edgar Markov. I did not expect to say that name multiple times in this video. All to be the most exciting card to collect in a release. You'll see more headliner cards across 2025 and beyond. Cool, I guess. Not, this is another one like, let's just wait and see. Innistrad Remastered is available for pre-order now. You can explore the set early with WPN Premium Preview events. Okay. I don't know what that means. From January 17th to 23rd, and House Markov quarterly invites you to the set's release on January 24, 2025. So we know we have Foundations in November. We now know we've got Innistrad in January, which is, it looks like it's a Gothic themed, and it's a remaster, so I'm guessing this is an old set they're bringing back, so I'm sure if they're remastering it, if it's like video games, it's probably a set that people really like. I will say I'm not huge into Gothic stuff, so this theme doesn't really speak to me, but I want to wait and see more cards because as handsome as Edgar is, I'd like to know what else is coming out. And then, oh, here, actually, before I keep going, I think, yeah, there's this right here. So these are all the scheduled stuff, right? So let's look at this real quick, and then we'll go back and break them all down. So Aetherdrift is the first, or I guess second if you count the Innistrad Remastered, coming out in February. Then we got Tarkir, Dragonstorm. Okay, actually, let me center this for you guys. Sorry. Tarkir, Dragonstorm in April. Final Fantasy in June. Edge of Eternities in August. And then Spider-Man and something UUB, which they didn't really talk about from what I can see in the articles here, coming out in 2025, but obviously late in the year, which they didn't have a release date. So we've got 6 sets here, 7 if you count Innistrad in the year. Generally speaking, there's a lot of positives and negatives to this many sets coming out in a year. The positives is that if you don't really like a specific set, you can skip it and you will get still new cards fairly quickly. So let's use myself as an example. We'll get into it more. Aetherdrift, not really my vibe. I'm not a big fan of that. Well, the good news is I only got to wait potentially just 2 months for Dragonstorm and jump into that. If you're a collector, this is really expensive. You know, as a content creator who is trying to make a lot of content, that's a lot of money that I'm going to be spending in a year on Magic the Gathering, because each of these things are going to have collector boosters, play boosters, commander decks, whatever else they decide to make. So that's a lot of money for someone who's trying to collect and earn everything. But reminder, no one has to. There's no point in having to buy every single one of these things. So, you know, don't put yourself in a situation where you feel forced to buy all of this. I think the good news is, again, lots of different themes. It'll speak to a lot of different people, and all the cards are going to be very different. So just pick the theme and the set that seems interesting to you, and just buy cards from that one. But don't feel forced to buy every single one. It is a lot, though. I totally get it. So from a collector side, absolutely, I'm with you guys. This could be kind of frustrating. But you have to remember, once again, no one's forcing you to buy every single one of these sets. Just skip some. You know, I'll use myself as an example. I have been buying 2 collector boxes per set of Bloombarrow and Duskmourn. Going into the new year with this, I'm going to buy 1 of each. So I'm going to, you know, cut down on how often I buy stuff. And again, I'm only doing that because I have a YouTube channel. If I did not have this YouTube channel and you guys were not enjoying me talking about Magic, I would definitely be skipping a lot of this stuff. And I'll talk about each of them. But yeah, anyways, let's go back to actual breakdowns of each one. So Innistrad, Gothic theme. The first one, I guess, new one is Aetherdrift. DFT is the breakdown of that. So take more than just a joyride with the first standard legal set of the year, Aetherdrift. Rev up your engines when the Girapur Grand Prix, Girapur, is that how you say it? Grand Prix kicks off at your local GameStar, pre-release on February 7th, 2025, with the full release set a week later on February 14th on Valentine's Day. So this is a racing theme, looks like death races and everything. I will say, I think the art is still pretty cool as always. I think Magic always nails the art style, but as I kind of told you guys earlier, I'm not the biggest fan of racing stuff. You know, I'm not like a big car guy, and you know, the theming of races in general, even now, like with there's a couple cards that I've gotten that are like vehicles. I never really enjoyed that. So this set isn't for me. I'm still going to buy it for YouTube so that I can show you guys what comes in each of the products and everything. But the first thing to me is definitely, this is not my favorite type. You know, like Bloombarrow had the really cute animals. Duskmourn has a very spooky theme, and I really am a big fan of that type of stuff. But this is just like, oh, it's racing. So again, I want to wait and see what the commander decks look like. Maybe one of the commander decks will speak to me a bit more, and I'll be more interested in that. But the theme of racing definitely isn't for me. All right. Follow Chandra Nalar as she races through the Omen paths and across 3 planes of the multiverse, chasing victory for an incredible prize. Hang on tight through its release on February 14th because it's only a death race if you die. Pretty cool. Next one, Tarkir Dragonstorm. So the art for this one, beautiful. You can, I really like this dragon here. Dragons take flight across the skies of Tarkir. I'm guessing it's a place in the world of Magic. Let me know if you know. Each flap of their wings ripping through the Omen paths. Join one of the 5 resurgent clans of Tarkir as they strike back against this threat to the multiverse. Familiar faces like Sarkhan, Vol, and Ugin have returned, their presence rippling across the set. We're excited to share more from Tarkir Dragonstorm when the set arrives on August 1st. August? August? Was it not April? Hold up now. Where was it? It says April 11th here and August 1st here. I'm going to guess this is a typo. I'm going to guess it's a typo because it's ordering. Anyways, this seems cool. Not much there, but dragons are always cool. So this one I am actually excited for. I'm going to guess the commander decks are going to be like a fire dragon and an ice dragon and all that. So pretty cool stuff there. Then we got our first new Universe Beyond set, Final Fantasy. Now, I will say I'm extremely biased. Final Fantasy is one of my favorite video game series of all time. Love basically even the bad Final Fantasy games, I really like. I'm not going to play the video here because I'm going to get copyright strike, but please, if you get the chance, go watch this video. It is really nice to see developers from Final Fantasy talk about Magic and Magic talk about Final Fantasy. And they show a little tease of the art, as you guys can see here with Sephiroth. They show a beautiful art of Titus, I think is how you say it, with Yuna. Yuna? Why am I blanking on his name? It's definitely not Luna. Yuna, for sure. Final Fantasy X. One of my favorites. I don't know why I'm blanking on the name right now. But yes, that looks awesome. Final Fantasy represents a universe rich with iconic elements that are a natural fit for Magic's gameplay. You'll see your favorite characters, Cloud, Terra, Lightning, and Lightning. Favorite character, Lightning. Okay. And Noctis. All right. Alongside summons, monsters, and rivals from across the Final Fantasy series. From the iconic Chocobo to the terrifying Behemoth, these cards are going to bring the Final Fantasy universe into your hands. Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy releases on June 13th. This is the one that I'm going to be spending the most amount of money, not counting Marvel, in 2025. Without a doubt. I'm going to try and get every single thing Final Fantasy because I'm a big fan. So this is definitely a set for me. Very curious to know if we're going to be getting, I'm going to guess we're going to get Commander decks as well. So super exciting. And again, with the announcement that all the cards are going to be legal in every single format, that's fantastic news for someone like me. And again, this is going to be on top of the Foundation set that's coming out in November. This is going to get so many more new players into Magic, which is a big win for Magic in the long run. Again, every single company should be trying to do stuff to get new players in. I know I'm making a big deal about this, but there's a reason why I quit Marvel Snap as a content creator, because not to poo-poo on that game right now, but they never did anything to onboard new players. It was always, how do we continue feeding the people who are currently playing the game and keep sucking out their money instead of trying to get new players to get in? It was a terrible idea, and that game's not going to, unfortunately, have a long-term, in my opinion, because it's not finding any ways to get new players in. Magic is, whether you like Final Fantasy or you don't like Final Fantasy, it is one of the biggest video game series in the world. There are going to be people who are going to start playing Magic because of the set. Same reason Assassin's Creed exists, Fallout exists, Lord of the Rings exists, and Marvel's coming too, and so many others. These are fantastic ways for people to jump in. And especially with Foundations being a base, we're going to get a lot of new players. I really feel like Magic the Gathering in like 3 years from now will be known and played and be more in the general community conversation than it currently is, because it's building towards that. I know I'm making a big deal about this. It's just because on Twitter I've seen a lot of people really upset about Magic. I know, like, building a multiverse, and they're like, oh, it's like Fortnite now. Yeah, Fortnite's like the most popular game in the world. So of course they're going to try and imitate that and bring in sets that are outside of Magic into Magic, right? So again, I get those hardcore lore people, but you got to accept new players starting to jump into the game. And don't be that weirdo at the local game store who doesn't let beginners join. I had that happen to me, and that's why I never go to local game stores. Everyone keeps saying, like, oh, you can join tournaments. Yeah, be nice to new players. What the heck? Anyways, let's keep going. I've had bad experiences at local game stores. Maybe I'll do a video about that in the future. Anyways, this video is going on way longer than I expected. The next set is Edge of Eternities, EOE. I already can tell you I'm going to like this. Space stuff? Oh, that's sick. Magic ventures into science fantasy with Edge of Eternities, exploring what lies beyond the known multiverse. Harness the advanced technology of the Sothera system as forces vie for cosmic power. Discover what lies at the heart of this turbulent galaxy when the set releases next year. So again, they didn't say a release date here, but I have it. This one's the August 1st one. Yeah, this is really cool. I really like the theme of space and science, fantasy, and all that. So I'm super down for this. So again, all positives outside of the racing one for me so far. Next up, we got obviously the Marvel collaboration. So we have that super drop with Secret Lairs. That's November 4th. So make sure if you are interested in those pack of cards like the Black Panther, Iron Man, all that, order those. But we also know we're officially getting a Spider-Man set in 2025. The Spider-Man set itself is going to be the usual collector box, play boosters, commander decks, and all that, but all based on the Spider-Verse. I think that's really cool. I mean, Spider-Man is a really big theme, so that's going to help a lot. And a lot of new players, once again, are going to jump into Magic because of this. So fantastic news. Magic on tabletop and beyond. So I'm guessing this is like the digital version. Plenty more to come as the Magic multiverse expands into new mediums. We showed off some of those future adventures at MagicCon. Can't wait to share more with you as you prepare to venture across the planes and beyond. We're gearing up for the future of Magic. Join us and celebrate at next year's MagicCons, where we'll be unveiling more of our vision for the game you know and love. Okay, fantastic. So next year, even more announcements. So those are all the new sets. There's more to talk about here, but like I said, new sets, I think Innistrad isn't for me and Aetherdrift isn't for me. So these next two sets are unfortunately going to be really rough for me as a content creator to get through, but you know, that happens with every single game. Again, if I wasn't a content creator, if I wasn't on YouTube, I would totally just skip these and I'd be fine. And then I would just spend more money later on. But, you know, as a creator, I'm going to try and get them all. So this is exciting in my opinion, but I'd love to know what you guys think. The next big one, and honestly, this is huge. And I don't know why it took them this long to get with this. Magic returns to, returns, fantastic. So they used to do it, they stopped, and they're bringing it back. Magic returns to listing MSRP with foundations. If you guys don't know, MSRP is manufacturer suggested retail price, which means they're not letting every shop decide the price of the products. Everyone, every shop, every place needs to sell these damn products at the exact same price. Finally, like this is so frustrating. I've talked about this in my previous videos, like my beginner guide. Look it up online. Make sure you check every site so that you really find the product at the cheapest possible, because they were selling them at ridiculous prices. And sometimes some of these companies or these shops would just double the prices on certain products just because one or two cards were worth more. So they're like, you know, what was it called? The Squirreled Away Commander deck. They were selling it at start $49.99, and then once they found out how rare some of the cards were, they went up to $100, $80, $90, $120, because why not? Who was stopping them? Well, now they can't do that anymore. So starting with Foundation and moving forward, every single shop will have to sell every single product at the MSRP price. God, that is beautiful. So let's talk about it here. The Foundation's products will have the following MSRP. This is all US price. So Play Booster will be $5.25. Collector Booster will be $24.99. Starter Collection will be $60. Jumpstart Booster will be $5.49. Bundle will be $50. And the Beginner Box will be $30. This is what I'll talk about, like that gift you can get to a lot of people, which I bought this. I'll be doing an unboxing. So before you guys spend any money on it, let me open it and I'll tell you guys what it comes inside so you can see if it's worth it as a gift box for some people. Innistrad Remastered products will have these MSRP, play boosters, and collector boosters. And additionally, MSRPs for Aetherdrift will be as following. Play boosters $5.50, collector booster $25. Commander decks will be $49.99 or $44.99. Sorry, bundles will be $53.99, and specialty bundle, which we're gonna have to wait and see what that is $79.99. Foundations is a special set, and as such will have distinct MSRP. We have intentionally suggested a lower retail prices for Foundations to help make it a better on-ramp for newer players. Fantastic, good for you guys. Aetherdrift and other IP sets will have the same MSRPs that we would have listed for Bloomburrow and Duskborn if MSRP were in places for those sets. Additionally, all MSRPs will be listed in US dollars and will only be listed for certain products. We will typically list an MSRP for individual play booster. Oh, okay, individual. Okay, so some of the commander decks will not necessarily be the same prices, but they'll be the same prices in every single shop. That makes sense. Again, and then there's the why change. Honestly, who gives a damn as to why they're changing it? This is all good news. So this is fantastic. Like, honestly, I cannot find a negative of the MSRP. This is just so good that you don't have to worry anymore. I always felt like, you know, I'd buy something in one store, I'd go into the other store and see, and I was like, oh man, they screwed me for $5 on the other shop. Well, that's no longer, hopefully, gonna be a thing. Everyone sell at the same price, and you just go buy it from the one you want to support. You like your specific local game store, support them, buy it, and you're not going to feel like you're being screwed because maybe they sell it a bit more or than another shop or whatever. So this is fantastic. It took them too long to get here, but I'm happy we're here now. And especially with a foundation set with a lot of new players jumping into Magic, this was the right time to do it because a lot of these people will buy stuff and get upset that they saw it for cheaper somewhere else. So yeah, fantastic news there. Cannot complain. Aligning the universes, making all our sets legal in all our formats. Okay, we kind of already talked about that. So even the Universe Beyonds are going to be in every format. So here's why. Newer players that come into Magic through Universe Beyonds can be properly paid into smaller formats where their decks have a chance to be competitive. Fantastic. Veteran players should appreciate a reduction in straight to modern sets that have created more churn in that format than typical sets do. I don't know what that means, but I'm not a veteran player, so there you go. Our design team gets to do what they're best at. We have decades of reps making sets built for this default use case. There you go. So fantastic news. I don't feel like I need to get into this too much, but this is good news that all the cards that you spend your money on, you will actually be able to play them in whatever mode you want. So fantastic news once again there. And then this is just a small thing. I read through all of this. With Magic the Gathering Foundations, they talk about some of the mechanics here, like Flashback, Threshold, Prowess, and all that, Raid. But there is one thing that I do think it's very important because I don't think everyone's going to get to this point. If you scroll all the way down to here, they are changing one of the rules of how you play Magic the Gathering, and that's the damage assignment order. So there's a whole article here which I don't want to read the full thing. But basically, if you've been playing Magic the Gathering, you probably already know this. When I attack, I choose a creature to attack with. Then my opponent chooses the blockers, and they can choose more than one blocker. So let's say they choose 2 blockers, and then it comes back to me, and I choose the order of which 2 I want to attack. And then the other player gets to decide to buff a certain card, and then my attack is pointless because that buffed card is now taking some of the damage. Does that make sense? Hopefully it makes sense. If not, you can read it. That's a really good example over here. Yeah. If I attacked with a 5/5 creature and you block with a 3/3 and a 4/4, I would put your creatures in one of 2 possible orders. Let's say I put the 3/3 first because I really want it gone. You're holding a spell that can save one of your creatures, such as Giant Growth. After the order is set, knowing the 3/3 is first in line, you cast Giant Growth on the 3/3. During the combat damage step, I would need to assign at least 6 damage to the 3/3, now 6/6, before I can assign any to the 4/4. But I only have 5 to assign to it. My creature, simply put, is doomed. This, if you guys don't know, in one of my first ever videos about Magic, I talked about this being fucking bullshit as a rule, and a lot of people I blocked and deleted every single one of those who defended this rule. And look at that! They're on my side. They're changing it. I am so happy. So, here's the change. Damage assignment order no longer exists. If a creature is facing multiple opposing creatures in combat, that creature's combat damage is assigned and dealt as its controller desires during the combat damage step. Other players won't necessarily know what's going to happen. Beautiful. I can't believe, again, it took them this long to get here. And I swear to God, if anyone's going to be upset about this rule, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? There's already so many rules to Magic. It's okay to get rid of this one, which is fucking bullshit. Let's get into it. Revising the earlier example under the new rules. My 5/5 attacker gets blocked by your 3/3 and your 4/4. It's now the declare blocker step. After blockers are declared, our last opportunity to do anything before combat damage is dealt. I pass priority. You have Giant Growth in your hand, you can still save the creature of your choice. We'll say you want to save that 3/3, probably for the same reason I wanted it gone. So you pump it up to a 6/6. We move on to combat damage, and now I get to assign my creatures 5 damage any way I want. Most likely, I could take out your 4/4, as it's the best I can do. But maybe I have, plans and would rather deal 3 damage to the 6/6 and 2 damage to the 4/4, that's okay too. Oh my god, what a brilliant new set of rules. That is so much better. Screw you guys who keep doing these bullshit things that are making my attacks mean nothing. You can't do that anymore. This is fantastic. This is amazing. And for that one card that exists in the last 20 years of Magic that had a specific thing that worked only when this happens, fuck that card. So here we are. Fantastic. That's a really big change to the rules. And now you know, because you watched, how long is this video? Over 30 minutes of this video. You now know this rule. Go tell all your friends to read it so that they all start using this. All right. There's only one last announcement. I think it's the biggest announcement, the biggest news from this whole weekend. Magic the Gathering is partnering up with SpongeBob fucking SquarePants. Yes, please, and thank you. I cannot wait for this. So Secret Lairs is doing a set of cards of SpongeBob SquarePants. I am super excited for this. I know it's silly, but I think it's really fun. And those are all of the things that happened this weekend. Hopefully nothing else gets announced, like I said, today, because it's 6 a.m. Or 6:45 now. So I'm going to try and go get ready for work. But thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end. Let me know every single thing, whether you agree or disagree. Of course, I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Subscribe. Let me know if you want me to continue doing these kind of videos where I react to certain Magic the Gathering announcements or anything like that. Yes, I know a lot of you guys have been asking me to post gameplay videos. I'm still trying to figure out how the hell to do that. I don't have the best setup for gameplay, but if I can figure it out, absolutely we're gonna do that. We're gonna continue doing some unboxing. We got foundations coming, and now we got so many more sets of Magic coming out, so even more content coming as well. So thank you guys so much for supporting this very small content creator. It means the world to me. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. See you guys soon. Take care. Bye bye.